What's going on, guys? Hope you've been well. Thank you guys for joining us on episode 4, where we take Arctica out for a review and shakedown in preparation for our Big Bend trip. Once we get all of our gear loaded, we began making our way down to the Sam Houston National Forest. We chose this location because Andy and I were not entirely familiar with this area. So answering the call of adventure, we began making our 4-hour drive south, not entirely sure what to expect. Here we are in the Sam Houston National Forest. We did stay here last night because we got in a little late, around 12 a.m. and come to find out this morning, after all the traffic that's been through here, that it is dove hunting season. It's a little too noisy for us, so we're gonna go ahead and pack up and go and try to find another place to stay tonight that's a little bit more calm and allows us to film a little bit more and do the in-depth review of Arctica. So why don't you join us and let's do this.
We wanted to take a moment to show you how easy it is to put away a Gazelle T4 tent. We've sped this up 3 times normal speed. By having quick and efficient systems, it will save time in the setup and breakdown of camp. This will allow you more time to enjoy the experience. While Alan finishes putting away the Gazelle, I wanted to take a moment and see what you guys have been thinking about our videos. Leave a comment down below on things that you'd like or you'd like to see us change, so we can incorporate that in our future videos.
It's very important to take the time of year and location into consideration when planning your trip. Andy and I weren't aware hunting season had begun, making for a very active atmosphere. Luckily, we had a fallback route. In the event, we could not find a suitable camp spot. We decided to go ahead and just stop for lunch real quick. We found just a really cool spot. We made it over to Crockett National Forest over here by Grapeland, Texas. We're just stopping to make us a bite to eat, just some simple hot dogs, quick and easy for today. We're still looking for a good campsite. As soon as we find that, then we'll go ahead and give you guys a good walk around of Arctica. Okay, so this is Arctica, our 2019 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk. This one has the 1.3 liter turbo and actually has really good torque and pickup compared to the 2.4s and some of the other models. Now on our 2019, we've already done quite a few mods. She is ready to go out exploring.
We've been driving it all day today. There's a couple of things we need to make adjustments to, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Right now I'm going to just start from the front of the Jeep and work my way back for you guys. So starting here at the front, we have an Avid radius front bumper. Now this is one of the prototype front bumpers that they first came out with, so it doesn't have the fog light holes or anything like that. The Avid bumpers do work on the 2019 and newer Renegades, which was fantastic news for us. It was pretty hard to find a bumper out there. Inside the bumper we have a Warn winch. It's the VR Evo 8S winch with the wireless remote control. It does have the synthetic line. Hooked to the winch we have the Factor 55 flat link and rope guard. And for the fair lead, we are also running the Warn fair lead for this. Mounted to the front bumper, we do have some white D shackles. For the headlights, we ended up replacing the factory halogen headlights. We did not have the HID package or the LED package on this Renegade, so we did have to upgrade that. We went with the Valkyrie adapters so we can run Wrangler headlights. The headlights that we chose were the HID Pros. It is a HID headlight. They produce a lot more light than the factory halogen headlights did. Moving up from the front bumper, on the hood you'll notice that we do have the Valkyrie hood vents. The reason we went with this is because it is a turbo motor. Turbo motors love to run hot. So we did this to release some of that hot air out of the engine bay and get it flowing out over the car, just to keep the temperatures down. It did help drastically. Also, to help with the cooling, we did cut holes in our front bumper and run a custom shroud behind the bumper to help channel the air into the radiator. Right above the hood, you're going to notice we do have ditch lights. They are mounted on the Valkyrie ditch light brackets. We decided to go with the Baja Design Squadron Sport ditch lights. They are fantastic lights, extremely bright. On the top of the vehicle, we are running a custom roof rack. Now this was built by me in my garage. You cannot buy this. The whole thing weighs less than 30 pounds, which if you have a Renegade, you're going to know weight is a big concern when modifying these. On top of the roof rack, when we take this out, we do run our Road Shower 4 7-gallon water tank. We run our 2000 by 2500 ARB awning. We do not use a rooftop tent on Arctica. We actually use a ground tent, and for that we chose to use the Gazelle T4. And we also run a 23-0 box on top of that to hold some additional gear. Also on top of the rack we are running our Max Track traction boards. These are the Mark IIs, and we chose black for this. I know that is not a popular color. They are extremely easy to lose if you get them muddy, but whenever we do use them, we generally try to use our orange straps on them so you can find them a lot easier. Moving down the side of the Renegade, we are running the Rocky Road Super Slider rock sliders. These are fantastic. I have no complaints with them. They've protected our rocker panels several times. I do like this particular set because they do have the step, which makes accessing everything on top of our roof rack so much easier. We also are running the Madness Auto Works ladder. We chose this ladder again so we can have more access to the roof rack. Now there are a couple other options out there for ladders. You could go with the Valkyrie or the Gobi ladders. We chose the Madness Auto Works because I'm a portly fellow and I needed something with a little bit more stability instead of trying to climb up a pole like the Valkyrie ladder. Moving around to the back of the Renegade, we are still running our factory Trailhawk rear bumper. We're going to continue to run this bumper to save weight. Now we could easily go with the swing arm carrier or one of Avid's other bumpers. For us personally, we've decided that the factory rear bumper is going to be best just to keep the weight down. We got as you'll see in a second, in the back of the Jeep we are running a drawer system, our fridge, and a lot of extra storage in there. So we're trying to keep the weight in the back of the Renegade to keep everything balanced as much as possible. And by adding the Avid rear bumpers, it would throw everything off. With that being said, we are running additional skid plates underneath other than the factory ones. So we do have the factory front carrier bearing and fuel tank skid plates. On top of that, we went with the Valkyrie rear diff skid plate. I do highly recommend getting a rear diff skid plate for the Renegades, for the fact that all it takes is one little rock and you're having to replace your whole rear differential. Now for the suspension, wheels, and tires, we're going with a little bit more of a simple setup on Arctica. We just went with the Avid 2-inch lift with iBox springs. We mainly only put the iBox springs on to help offset some of the weight when we're fully loaded down. So that way it sits at about 2 inches. The 1-inch iBox lift will cover the difference. For the wheels and tires, we are running a 17x8 with a 35mm offset. They are Ultra wheels. We have the Falcon AT3W tires. The size we went with was 245/65/17. Now, in order to fit those 245/65/17 tires, we did have to run a spacer. We currently have a 1.5 inch spacer right now. Now, earlier when I was saying there's a few things we need to change to Arctica, our spacers we do need to change. We bought these spacers when we had the factory wheels, which had a +40 offset, and we needed to bring the tire out away from the struts in order to clear the tires. Since we went with the bigger offset and the new wheels, it's pushed them out even further, so we are going to be looking to back our wheel spacer size from a 1.5 back down to a 1.25 inch wheel spacer. To control all of our electronics, we are running the Switch Pro's SP9100 switch panel. Now this has 8 switches on it. You can also be controlled remotely using Bluetooth on your cell phone. You can also use this panel to adjust the brightness of your lights if that's what you're using to run it. Now, hooked to our Switch Pros, we are running our ditch lights. We have a full set of rock lights under Arctica. We have rear outlets for our fridge and other accessories in the trunk. And it is already pre-wired and set up so we can do an onboard air system. Now currently for our air, we are running the Viair air compressor. It is a portable one. I have to pop my hood, hook up to the battery each time I use it, but it does work fantastic. I haven't come up with a solution of exactly where I personally want to mount this yet. Now for the fridge inside Arctica, we are just running an Amazon fridge. We've already decided that Athena is going to be mainly for our mill gallery. It's going to carry a lot of our refrigerated food. We're probably going to gear Arctica when we work it into the team more for power, water, a lot of the utilities we need while we're out on the trail. We do have a 100-watt solar panel right now that powers our RockPal's 500-watt solar generator. That's what we're currently running our fridge off of. It'll run our fridge for a few days without any issues at all. When we hook the solar panel up to it, it charges it faster than we can use it. Thank you guys for watching the walk around of Arctica. We're going to enjoy the rest of our trip, soak up the wilderness a little bit, relax, and then we'll see you next time when we do a video of the bison, the ZR2 bison. To sum up our trip, we did notice a few things that we're going to want to address on Arctica. The first thing we noticed was a knocking coming from the front suspension on the driver's side. This is more than likely going to be the front sway bar end links. To fix this, we will be disconnecting the front sway bar altogether, as it will also increase our ride quality. Lighting is another thing we'll be addressing. Though the lights we have on Arctica are great, we need to add fog lights back into the bumper. We will also be upgrading comms for the Big Bend trip. In Arctica, we currently use a handheld radio, but we will be going to a Midland fixed GMRS radio. Also, since Big Bend is so remote, we will be adding a jerry can for additional fuel.
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for coming back. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to be notified of our upcoming videos. Join us next time as we take our 2020 ZR2 Bison for a proper shakedown run and walk around.